Hello, my dear friends of Healthy Hair and Skincare. New release, but nevertheless, the old comparison. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to discuss first the new release of the Blue Sweet Georgia Brown and then compare it with the Red Dex, which was a bag in more than 10, 12 years. A very common comparison that was performed and had a lot of arguments around it. But let's get into the details with this new release, the Blue Sweet Georgia Brown. First things first, something I didn't know in advance was that the Sweet Georgia Brown brand is actually owned by the Pomade Shop, the German company owned by Stanislav Soldan, and he basically is the owner of this brand and company. So they were trying to release and to reformulate it for quite some years now. To give you a bit of a background story, the original, the red Sweet Georgia Brown, was produced by Murray's and also the blue one. But however, the recipe, for whatever reason, got lost. At least this was the official justification that this product was not produced anymore. So the Pomade Shop said, okay, we need more partners or new partners to release or re-release our blue version and the new red version. So what happened was, of course, the artwork changed, and of course, as the owner, they went to one of the, let's say, more prominent home brewers in the business, which was Steve Lockhart, who reformulated and produced this craft new. But let's get into the details. Ingredients. It is what I saw on the first look. I thought, okay, this is a typical oil-based Lockhart product because it contains petrolatum, microcrystalline wax, lanolin, and perfume. So nothing wrong about it. Very tolerable, all the ingredients. It makes the consistency of the Sweet Georgia Brown, and I hopefully froze it for my last application. You see, this is sticky. This is like a typical gooey sort of sticky pomade, as you can see here. But very easy to get out of the tin, very easy to emulsify, and very easy to apply. Something that is lost with this new release is in the past when you went to comb through your hair, you had this like yellowish residual on your comb. That is gone with this one. So good job on this. Second, very easy to style, and things are fairly straightforward. In terms of hold, it changed, because the ingredients, it was reformulated. Let's say, of course, it derived from its processes. Of course, now this pomade tolerates much more heat than the old one does. However, the consistency and the applicability and the styling capability of this is absolutely the same. Again, in terms of performance, pure performance, it increased massively, okay? Because now it is much, much more heat tolerant. Microcrystalline wax is a industrial wax, and it is much, much more heat tolerable than the corresponding product, which is the Red Dex, which does not contain it. So, it is, if you want a comparable pomade, I would say the Goon Grease, although this is more stickier, like a bit. But the whole category is still the same. I would rate it heat, wind, rain, 7 to 8 out of 10. This will pretty much fix it. In terms of shine, yes, there is, depending on the type of hair, of course, I have dry hair, so, the shine for me is always stepped down in compared to others, but yes, it has. And one of the most important categories, the scent. If I have viewers on this channel from the US, Something that is sold over there, but not so sold here in Europe, are the motor oil fragrances. And yes, it smells like this. I'm sorry. It is a type of vintage scent, I would say, but the first association that I had, literally, was when I saw this in I think it was I'm not quite sure whether it was a Walmart or a car dealer, and I was so fascinated that because we do not have these types of things here, that these things exist. So I went there and wanted to smell on it, and I still have this vivid memory. And yeah, motor oil fragrances. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was my first, like really my absolutely first first association. But still, I would say, yeah, it is somehow a vintage type of scent. Highly perfumed, by the way. This is a perfume bomb almost. But you know, usually I love it when pomades have this, because it gives a pomade and it's a very characteristic type of, how can I say, touch. In this particular case, I have different associations than yeah, maybe someone else. But now, since we had this, let's compare it with the Red Decks. Again, this one, new released, but they always grow in comparison between those two. In terms of performance, this is the winner. This is absolutely the king. Why? Because now it contains microcrystalline wax to a bigger portion. This does not contain any wax. The whole giving ingredients here are lanolin and petrolatum, so this becomes soft when you reach 28 degrees Celsius outside. That is quite low in terms of all the current weather conditions that we are facing. So in terms of performance, this is definitely the winner. Application, emulsifying and styling is for both the same, I would say, definitely. Again, the hold here, of course, this is what I meant with performance. This one is better. In terms of scent, this one, it doesn't. This has this powdery type of, yeah, classic barbershop scent. I'm sorry, I love this much more. It is, yeah, this is a nostalgic scent, definitely for me. It is definitely not that strong regarding the perfume effect, but this one does. So yeah, overall, you know, depends on where you are putting yourself into the range. But in respect to this new release, performance-wise, is superb product, no doubt about it. Like, Steve Lockhart did absolutely his best. In terms of scent, well, I guess you have to find out. But again, my first association was motor oil fragrances. So guys, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye.